Hey guys, the app we're going to learn this week is called a Google Form. And what we're looking at right now is not a Google Form. This is a Google Sheet, but they are closely related. So I wanted to connect this week's assignment with last week's assignment. Last week we used a Google Sheet and we asked our family and friends what pets they have owned in the past. So that's surveying when you ask people a question. So we surveyed our families and friends and we asked them what pets they've ever had. And then we've entered our data on a spreadsheet and we had a formula built in that added up the sum of all the numbers and it collected our data. So what if I wanted to ask those same exact questions, but I wanted a larger audience? I could use a Google form to do that. So I'm going to create a Google form and I'm going to ask people, have they ever had a cat, dog, fish, rabbit, reptile, rodent, or other? So I'm in Google Forms, the Google Form app. You can get it here from your app launcher. You have to search down a little bit. It's a nice purple color. I'm going to start a blank Google form. And I'm going to call it Popular Pets. And my question that I'm asking is, what kind of pet have you owned? All right, so I said we were going to ask for cats, dogs. What else? Fish, rabbits, reptiles, rodents. Fish, rabbits, reptiles, rodents, and other. Okay, so for this particular example, that's the only question that we're going to be asking people. Over here, we have to label what type of question it is. So it's not actually a multiple choice because they could have more than one right answer. Maybe they had all of the above, right? So that is going to be a checkbox. And that means that they can put check marks in more than one answer. All right, down here, you can copy the question by duplicating it, throw it in the trash if you want to start over. You can make it required, which we are going to do. And if I wanted another question, I would click this plus sign over here. But in this particular case, I do not. And if I wanted to personalize it a little bit, I might want to choose a theme, choose a different color. You can even add an image, but we're not going to worry about doing that right now. I'm going to click up here to name it. So you notice when you click there, it automatically pulls up this title that you put in here. So now that I've created my form, I'm ready to send it to people. So I'm going to click the send button and you'll notice my send options. I can email it, I can create a link to mail it, or I can embed it into a website if I had one. So if you wanted to email it to some friends, you would have the email selected and you could start typing in your friends' email addresses. And if they are in the Octorara organization, you don't have to type in their whole email. Just start clicking to type in their first initial and start typing in their last name, and they will come up in our directory. And then your friends will get a link in their email and they can answer your form for you. A great way to gather information on basically anything that you have a question about. So what does this have to do with a spreadsheet? You might be asking yourself. So I'm going to show you. All right, so I'm going to click this eyeball to preview what the actual form looks like. So if you sent this to your friends, this is what they would receive. And the question is, what kind of pets have you owned? So I've had cats, I've had a dog, I've had fish, I've had a rabbit, I've never had a reptile, but I have had a hamster and a gerbil. So I'm going to check all that apply, and then I'm going to click submit. As the owner of this form, I can now go to responses and see the symbol here for a spreadsheet. I can create a spreadsheet, and it's asking me, do I want to select an existing spreadsheet or do I want to create a new spreadsheet? So if you wanted to send this form out to a larger audience and add it to the spreadsheet that you already started last week, you could do that by clicking select existing spreadsheet. I'm going to start a new one just so that we don't get too confused. So I'm going to click create. And here it is. So it's very, very simplified. There's no color, there's no pictures, but everything else you should recognize. There are the column headers, A, B, C, and then the row headers, 1, 2, 3. And you'll notice it automatically gives you a timestamp. That's the date and time that the response came in. Here's the question up here. And then here are the answers that are down here. Notice that there's no identifying information. You don't know who answered this question. You don't know that it was me because I did not collect that data in my form, but I could have if I wanted to. I just did not do that. All right, so that is how a form and a spreadsheet are related. This week, you're not going to have to create a form. You're just going to have to answer a form that I created for you.